Greetings, chat. It is just past 1:30 p.m. on Monday, March 10th, 2025, and I'm here because we unfortunately need to have a little chat about someone I am vaguely acquainted with who goes by the Instagram username and artist name Digital Gringo. He also has a YouTube channel under the name Digit Does, which is going to be the main thing we are discussing today. I want to preface this by saying I have not really ever been an active viewer of his YouTube content. The only time I ever was when he posted a very complimentary review of Brie Earned the Power of Self-Respect, the single, when it came out last year, around this time last year. I subscribed to him at that point, but after that I noticed his titles and thumbnails getting like kind of clickbaity. But we were mutuals before that, before that review even went up. So I'm going to start at the point where we became mutuals and kind of go from there. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Brianna Carmel. I do a bunch of local DIY music things all the time, which includes promoting shows under the name 916 Growth Gigs. And in 2023, I started posting like compilation albums on Bandcamp under 916 Growth Gigs. So that is the point at which I became mutuals with Digital Gringo, because I think he had probably been following me for a minute, and then at some point in 2023, I don't remember exactly when, but at some point, because I dropped like 3 different compilation albums the first year I started doing that, and 2 of them were back to back, and so my memory with the 2 towards the end of the year kind of blur together a little bit. But basically, towards the end of the year in 2023, I announced that I wanted to do like a compilation album for 916 Growth Gigs on Bandcamp that was like DIY bands and artists covering like mainstream pop songs, right? And Digital Gringo saw that and messaged me and was like, hey, I have this Britney Spears cover that I've been sitting on for a while or some shit like that. I don't think he'd released it, and he asked if he could put it on the compilation, and I listened to it and I was like, word, this is a solid Britney cover, like that's fine, let's have it on the album. And that was kind of where it started. And then the year after that, so this was 2023 when I put out this compilation with his Britney cover on it. The year after that, early 2024, is when I released Brie Earned the Power of Self-Respect, the single. And he reviewed it, and he said lots of very nice things about it. It was like a positive review, but he did refer to me with she, her pronouns throughout the entire video, which I don't know, I wasn't like pissed about it or anything, but I found it, because, you know, it's a common mistake. I am non-binary, but I'm also very feminine, and I'm not gonna get into the specifics of gender bullshit right now, but like, I get it when people call me she. I was just a little annoyed because we had been mutuals for a while, and my pronouns are on my Instagram and like on my YouTube even, I think, as well. Like most places where I'm on social media, my pronouns are like there. So I was like, that's kind of annoying, but I'll just message him and ask him to like pin a comment about what my pronouns are. So I did that, and he was like nice and did what I asked him to. But he also, I don't have like receipts for this or whatever. I don't have the exact verbiage of what he said, because I'm gonna get to this, but like ultimately I have him blocked, right? And I tried to look through my messages with him, and I can't because I have him blocked and I don't want to unblock him. So I don't remember exactly how he said things like word for word, but he said something to the effect of like thanking me for being chill about it or something, because most people like wouldn't have been as chill about it as I was or something. And I was like, that's kind of a weird thing to say about like trans or gender non-conforming people, but ultimately he did do what I asked him to, so I did kind of let that slide, I guess, or let it go, even though it did kind of feel like a red flag moment. But, like, I don't know, because he ultimately did what I asked him to. So I was like, he means well, his heart's in the right place, he's just a little dumb, right? And I don't mean that in, like, I don't mean that in, like, a derogatory way. Like, it's okay to be a little dumb as long as you're, like, willing to learn, right? But I digress. So yeah, that happened, and it was a bit of a red flag moment, but, like, ultimately fine. And then a few months, like some months after that, let's see, because Brie Earned the Power of Self-Respect, the single, was released in March, and then I think like early August later that year, 2024, I happened to be planning one of my, like, acoustic unplugged park shows. I live right by a park. I throw shows there sometimes, and we're always done by sundown, and it's a fun time. And so I was preparing to do this park show in, like, early August, and Digital Gringo reached out to me, basically asking if I could, like, book him for, like, a solo set or whatever. And I was like, well, I have a park show coming up that I'm, like, trying to find acts for. If you want to play it, there's room for you. And he was down. I'll throw the flyer up here. Lucy Broom was also on the lineup. My friend Nine Fingers was on the lineup. It was a lineup of people I knew very well, with the exception of Digital Gringo, who I was, like, mutuals with but did not know as well, and kind of had that weird pronouns moment with. But I was also kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt, I guess. So, I don't know. I went into this show, like, cautiously optimistic, I guess the phrase would be. And, like, ultimately the show was fine. Like, nothing, it was not a disaster in any way, shape, or form. What did happen, though, is that he demonstrated a huge lack of understanding of, like, the history of folk punk as a genre. He said something about, I hope I'm remembering this right, he talked about an artist called Cranford Nix, and said that Cranford Nix invented folk punk, which is just not correct. I could be mixing up the artist he named. I know he played a Cranford Nix cover at that show, but regardless, whoever he named, like, you could easily go on their Wikipedia and see that they were not listed as, like, a folk punk artist. Like, whoever he named was not associated with folk punk at all. I'm pretty sure it was Cranford Nix. I'm worried I might be wrong about the specifics, so just wanted to say that. But regardless, he said that, and then I don't remember exactly what my partner said, but they said something about, like, Pat the Bunny or whatever, right? And Digital Gringo did not know who Pat the Bunny was, which is, like, fine. I didn't know who he was when I started playing and, like, getting into folk punk, right? But that's an important detail that we're going to touch on later. So yeah, show was fine. He just kind of displayed some ignorance about, like, folk punk as, like, a genre and the history of it and important figures within the history of it, which is, like, that's fine. I was like, he just doesn't know. That's fine. Like, it wasn't, like, a big deal to me. And then, like, several more months went by, and at some point within the last, like, I don't know, month or two, I started seeing what he was posting on YouTube. Specifically around the time Pat the Bunny kind of made his comeback, I guess. Like, for those who don't know, Pat the Bunny, big folk punk guy, has been in numerous other projects, got sober, disappeared eventually, and recently came back with a new project called Friends in Real Life. They just dropped their album of the same name. And a couple months ago, I think, Friends in Real Life dropped the first single from the new album, which was called Buckeye. And, Pat's voice is, like, recognizable immediately. So people were very excited about Pat the Bunny being back in any sort of way, right? Even I was. Like, I was never, like, an active fan of Pat the Bunny, especially when he was an active musician, but I understood, like, the history of it and was very excited, a lot of people were excited, and like within the folk punk community, you know. And then I go on YouTube and I see, I don't remember what the title was, but I'll throw a screenshot up. Digit Does, aka Digital Gringo, posted a YouTube video, and the thumbnail said, Pat the Bunny sucks now. And I was kind of two minds about it. I was like, well, he did not know who Pat was at all when I played with him last year. So much so that I kind of doubt that he even like remembers that exchange about Pat. But I was also kind of like, that's just his opinion. Like, you know, maybe he went back and listened to other Pat and then listened to Friends in Real Life, which sounds different. And maybe he just didn't like it, and like you're allowed to like Pat's older stuff compared to newer stuff, or not like any of it, or like whatever. I was like, you know, he's a reviewer guy. He didn't like the new Pat, and he's allowed to have that opinion, right? That was kind of like, I didn't feel great about it as someone who like witnessed that he didn't know who Pat was like less than a year prior, but I was also like, you know, he can share his opinion, that's fine. And I'm pretty sure that was the point that I actually like peeked through his channel and saw what he had been posting for the last like month or two. So I was like vaguely aware that he was choosing to focus on folk punk as like a genre and a scene for some reason. I didn't watch any of it though. I saw that there was a thumbnail with like April from Apes of the State, who I know we're mutuals. I've booked her other band, Local News Legend. April is someone that I consider at least like a professional friend, like a friend within professional context. Like I went to go see my friend Ash Bricky open for Apes of the State at the Starlit Room in Sacramento. And when I said hi to April, she said, all your friends are here. So I feel like I can call April a friend. And I saw her in a thumbnail of his. And I think either the thumbnail or the title said folk punk gatekeeper or folk punk gatekeeping or something like that. And I was like, I don't know, man. Because like I said, I didn't watch it. But I don't know, man. I follow April on Twitter. I see her get taken out of context all the time. And I kind of figured this was something like that. I kind of figured it was just him talking about bullshit Twitter drama or something. And maybe it was. I don't know. I didn't watch it. But, like, I have been told more since seeing that, like, thumbnail with April. Which brings me to my next point. Another friend of mine who I know through, like a folk punk friend of mine. Her name's Chloe Defector. Chloe sent me a message yesterday morning. And she just basically messaged me to say, hey, I noticed you're following this guy. He's been making a bunch of hate videos about a bunch of people in the folk punk scene, and he's also not above like transphobia. And she also recommended blocking him because apparently he was like pulling shit from her Instagram to like use to talk shit about her in a video. I'm gonna get to that. I didn't even like realize that he had like name dropped her specifically, but oh my God, I'm getting mad again. I got really emotional and angry and upset when Chloe messaged me. Not at her, obviously. We were having a conversation and stuff. I got angry at Digit because, like, I know Chloe. I know Audrey Plath. I'm friends with them. I've booked them. I consider myself closer to them than I do to April. Like, these are people I know personally. Even if we're not close, like, I consider them a part of my community. I felt even, like, guilty to a degree because, like, if he did not know who I am, he would not know what folk punk is. And that much was clear when I met him in person. Because when I met him in person, he didn't really know what folk punk was. And it honestly just kind of blows my mind that despite, like, me basically being his introduction to the genre and having, like, I don't know, a good relationship with me or whatever, like, how is he gonna go and talk a bunch of shit about a genre that I'm a part of? That is kind of, like, a niche genre. Like, it's gotten bigger in recent years and stuff, but like, folk punk's not at the top of the fucking like charts, like Billboard or anything. Like, we are a tight knit community, and I'm just like, did he think I wouldn't find out about this? Like, I'm just so floored. I'm getting to the point where it's getting hard for me to like, because I know he's probably gonna watch this, right? So, Digit, Colton, I'm gonna talk to you directly. I know your name because you bought a tape from me and you Venmo'd me for it. And we're not friends. So I'm not gonna call you Digit. I'm gonna call you Colton. Colton, you are not Anthony Fantano. You are a hater and a bully, and you need to stop talking like you are an expert in genres you have no history with, and you need to leave my friends alone. I have DMs with Spud Bugs now. Like, even if I don't know literally everyone in this community, I am at least a friend of a friend away from most of these people. Honestly, I think that does cover the gist of what I wanted to say. I have Digital Gringo blocked on all of my accounts on Instagram. I unsubscribed from his YouTube. And I'm also going to be deleting his fucking Britney cover from the Pop Goes DIY album on the 916 Growth Gigs Bandcamp. And for any Sacramento area locals, his band is called Knuckle Draggers with a Z. So let it be known. All right, yeah, I think I've said everything I needed to say. And I'm getting emotional again, which is making it harder for me to form words, so I think I'm gonna go. But thank you for listening. I hope the rest of your day or night or whatever it is, wherever you are, is lovely. Have a good one, y'all.